The world loves a free man, not because they respect him, but because they can use him. If you are accessible, you are consumed. If you are always available, you are taken for granted. If you give your time, your loyalty, and your energy without a price tag, do not be surprised when you are treated like a discount bin at a clearance sale. There is a brutal economic law that governs human relationships, and it cares nothing for your good heart. It is the law of supply and demand. When the supply of you is high, when you are always there, always replying, always helping, always nodding, the demand for you hits zero. You become oxygen, essential perhaps, but free, and no one pays for air until they are choking. Niccolò Machiavelli, the architect of power, understood this centuries ago. He warned that a prince who is too generous, too open, and too familiar is eventually despised. He is seen as weak. He is seen as common, and common things are discarded. You have spent your life trying to be liked. You have been taught that if you give more, you will get more. That is a lie. That is the slave morality taught to workers, not the strategy whispered to kings. The truth is darker. Humans only value what they have to pay for. They only value what they fear losing. They only value what is expensive. To reclaim your power, you must stop being free. You must become a luxury good in a world of cheap commodities. But how do you price a human soul? How do you create scarcity when you have bills to pay and relationships to maintain? I am going to show you. We are going to deconstruct the psychology of value. We are going to apply the laws of luxury economics to your personality. By the end of this, you will understand why being difficult is a virtue, and why being expensive is the only way to be truly free. But first, you have to admit something. You are on sale, and it is time to close the store. Do you know something about the paradox of value? Why is water free and diamonds expensive? Adam Smith, the father of economics, grappled with a paradox that explains your entire social life. He asked, why is water essential for life, virtually free, and why are diamonds useless for survival so incredibly expensive? The answer is scarcity. Water is everywhere. It falls from the sky. It flows through rivers. It surrounds us. Because it is abundant, it is taken for granted. You wash your hands with it. You flush it down the toilet. You waste it. Diamonds are rare. They are hard to find. They require labor, suffering, and pressure to extract. Because they are scarce, they are worshipped. People kill for them. People starve themselves to buy them. Look at your life. Are you water, or are you a diamond? The nice guy, the yes man, the reliable friend. He is water. He is essential to the ecosystem of others. They need him to listen to their problems. They need him to do the heavy lifting. They need him to validate their ego. But because he flows freely, they flush him. They cancel plans at the last minute because they know he won't get mad. They underpay him because they know he won't negotiate. They dump their emotional garbage on him because they know he is an open container. He thinks he is being a good person. In reality, he is flooding the market with his own presence. He has created a surplus of himself. To become expensive, you must become a diamond. That means becoming useless to those who cannot afford you. This is a hard pivot. It requires you to kill the part of you that craves immediate validation. You must be willing to be called distant. You must be willing to be called arrogant. Thorstein Veblen, the sociologist who coined the term conspicuous consumption, noted that people gain status not by what they do, but by what they can afford to waste. When you are expensive, you signal that you can afford to waste other people's approval. You do not need their validation to survive. That signals high status. Start today. Audit your availability. How quickly do you text back? How often do you say yes to things you hate? How much time do you spend listening to people who never ask about you? Every instant reply is a coupon you are handing out. Every sure, no problem is a discount code. Stop it. Create a drought. Let them thirst. When you withdraw your supply, you force them to realize your value. When the water stops flowing, people do not shrug. They panic, they check the pipes, they call the company. They are suddenly willing to pay anything to get it back. Be the drought. Let's discuss the velvet rope, the art of friction. Walk past a high-end nightclub. Walk past a luxury boutique like Hermes. What do you see? A line, a bouncer, a locked door, barriers. Now walk past Walmart. The doors slide open automatically. The lights are bright. Everyone is welcome. Which one commands your respect? Which one do you dress up for? We value things that resist us. This is the psychological principle of effort justification. If we have to work for something, our brain assumes it must be valuable. If we get it easily, our brain assumes it is cheap. You have been living with automatic doors. You let anyone into your mental space. You let anyone into your schedule. You are a Walmart. Install a velvet rope. Introduce friction. Friction is the art of being just difficult enough to filter out low-value people, but enticing enough that high-value people will jump the hurdle. How? First, change your default. Most people operate with yes as the default, unless they have a reason not to. Your default must become no, unless you give me a reason to. When someone asks for a favor, a meeting, or a date, do not jump. Silence. Then maybe. Then yes, only if it aligns with your mission. This is not rudeness. It is calibration. It signals that your time is already occupied. It signals that you have a purpose higher than serving them. Second, qualification. Never let someone enter your inner circle without testing them. Do they gossip about others? They will gossip about you. Do they show up late? They will disrespect your time. If a client wants to work with you, make them apply. Make them wait. You think you will lose business? Yes, you will lose the cheap ones. But high-value players respect the rope. Machiavelli advised that a prince should be slow to believe and slow to move. Be slow. Let them wait in line. The anxiety of, will he accept me, creates dopamine. Instant acceptance creates nothing. You are not being mean. You are curating your existence. Now, what is the tax of silence? Information is currency. Inflation kills currency. The more you talk, the less your words are worth. The free man is an open book. He tells his life story on the first date. He explains his strategies at work. He vents to neighbors. He broadcasts everything online. He is flooding the market with himself. To be expensive, become a vault. Machiavelli wrote, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience who you really are. Keep the who you really are behind a paywall. In conversation, practice 80-20. There you speak 20%. When you speak, declare, do not explain. I'm moving. Why? It's time. End of sentence. Justification is the language of the subordinate. The boss gives orders. The employee gives explanations. When you withhold details, people project depth onto you. They assume you have a master plan. You become a puzzle, and the human mind is addicted to puzzles. Silence creates a vacuum, and in that vacuum, your value rises. When the quiet person speaks, the room listens. When the loud person speaks, people check their phones. Be the voice that costs something to hear. Let's talk about the fourth concept, the price of emotional stoicism. Now we go deeper. We have talked about time. We have talked about access. We have talked about words. But the most expensive thing you own is your emotional reaction. Low-value people are reactive. They are cheap. Push a button. They explode. Insult them, they rage. Praise them, they glow. They are vending machines. Insert stimulus, receive reaction. They have no internal sovereignty. They are slaves to external events. To be expensive is to be non-reactive. The Stoics called it apatheia, not apathy, but freedom from being ruled by emotion. It is the ability to stand in chaos and remain unmoved. Why is this expensive? Because it costs enormous energy to control your biology. When someone disrespects you, your primitive brain screams attack. When someone threatens your ego, it screams defend. To override that impulse requires discipline. It requires awareness. It requires a mind that has conquered itself. When you refuse to react, you disrupt the power dynamic. The insulter wants payment. The payment is your reaction. If you deny them the reaction, you deny them the transaction. You leave them holding their own toxicity. Imagine a negotiation. One man is sweating, talking fast, desperate to close the deal. The other leans back, breathing slowly, flipping through a file. Who has the power? Who is the prize? The calm man is the expensive man. Machiavelli understood this. A prince who loses his temper loses authority. Anger is a confession of weakness. It announces that someone else controls your emotional state. Do not hand that control away. Treat your emotions like gold bars in a vault. Do not hand them out to every beggar who knocks on your door. If someone tries to provoke you, look at them with curiosity, not anger. Observe them like a scientist observing a rat in a maze. Interesting behavior, then walk away. This level of detachment unsettles manipulative people. They depend on your emotional debt. They need you to owe them a reaction. Cancel the debt. Become a ghost to their drama. When you are emotionally expensive, people become cautious around you. Not because you are abusive, but because you are unreadable. They must invest energy to understand you. And the more energy they invest, the more valuable you become. This is the sunk cost principle in action. If someone has spent months trying to earn your respect, decode your thoughts, gain your trust, they will not walk away easily. You have become their investment. Next phase is the absence of necessity, walking away. The ultimate sign of a luxury good is that it does not need you to buy it. Ferrari does not beg you to purchase their cars. They do not run desperate commercials pleading for attention. If you buy one, fine. If you do not, someone else will. And if no one does, the car still sits there, beautiful, untouchable, retaining its value. The free man is needy. He needs the job. He needs the relationship. He needs the invitation. And because he needs it, he has no leverage. Neediness destroys negotiation. The moment someone senses that you must have the deal, your value drops. To be expensive, you must cultivate the ability to walk away. You must build a life where no single person, opportunity, or outcome determines your stability. Machiavelli advised that a ruler should rely on his own arms, not the arms of others. If your financial security depends entirely on one boss, you are vulnerable. If your emotional security depends entirely on one partner, you are vulnerable. Diversify your power. Build rare skills. Build multiple streams of income. Build emotional resilience. Build a life that does not collapse if one pillar is removed. When you know, truly know, that you can walk away from any table and remain intact, your posture changes. You negotiate differently. You speak differently. You decide differently. You are not bluffing. You are selecting. This is my standard. Meet it or I walk, and you must mean it. The free man stays in bad relationships because he fears loneliness. The expensive man leaves because he values solitude more than compromise. The free man accepts a low salary because he fears unemployment. The expensive man resigns because he knows his skills are rare. The willingness to destroy the deal is what makes the deal possible. When you stop needing them, they start needing you. It is a paradox of desire. We chase the cat that ignores us, not the dog that jumps on us. Be the cat. Sit on the wall. Observe. Groom yourself. Let them approach. And even then decide whether they are worthy. That is the posture of value. Phase 6 is the Machiavellian pivot. The power of absence. Power is not constant. It pulses. The free man is always present, always available, predictable, flat. The expensive man operates in waves. He engages, then he withdraws. He appears, then he disappears. Robert Greene wrote, "Use absence to increase respect and honor." When you are constantly present, people notice your flaws. They see your imperfections. You become ordinary. When you withdraw, you become an idea. And ideas are flawless. In your absence, imagination works for you. They wonder what you are doing. They wonder who you are with. They wonder why you are not reaching out. Curiosity becomes intrigue. Intrigue becomes admiration. You reduce the supply of your presence, and the price rises. This requires emotional strength. When you withdraw, Your insecurity will whisper, "What if they forget me? What if they replace me?" Let them try. If they replace you easily, you were never rare. But usually, they will lean in. Think of the artist who disappears for a year to create. No interviews. No social media. Silence. When the work returns, the world pays attention. Think of the employee who leaves at 5 sharp, avoids gossip, never begs for attention. When he speaks in a meeting, people listen, because he is not noise. If you have been overly available in a relationship, recalibrate. Not with anger, not with manipulation, with purpose. Get busy. Build something. Delay responses. Protect your weekends. You are not playing games. You are correcting the exchange rate. A star that is always visible becomes background. A comet that appears once in a century becomes an event. Be the comet. Phase 7. Never split the difference. The intolerance of mediocrity. The free man compromises. He wants 100. He is offered a 50. He accepts 705 and convinces himself he won. He wants loyalty. He receives partial commitment. He calls it love. He splits the difference because he fears losing the deal. To be expensive is to refuse mediocrity. This is where you become difficult. And this is where respect is born. High standards are not arrogance. They are filters. If you accept garbage, you become a container for garbage. If you demand excellence, you elevate the room. I do not work weekends. I do not tolerate disrespect. I do not associate with dishonesty. These are not requests. They are laws. When you draw a hard line, people will test it. They will push. They are measuring whether you are real. If you fold once, you will fold forever. If you hold the line, they will adjust. The expensive individual would rather lose the deal than lower the standard. And because they are willing to lose it, they often win it. But this applies inward as well. You cannot be expensive externally if you are cheap internally. If you eat poorly, neglect sleep, consume mindless distractions, and speak poorly about yourself, you are signaling to your own subconscious that you are low value. Upgrade yourself. Consume high-quality habits. Train your body. Sharpen your mind. Dress with intention. Speak with clarity. Treat yourself like a high-performance machine that requires premium fuel. When you treat yourself with reverence, the world follows. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. Stop self-deprecating jokes. Stop minimizing your achievements. Stop mocking your own potential. You would not spray graffiti on a Ferrari. Do not vandalize your own character. Carry yourself with gravity, not arrogance. Gravity. Arrogance is loud. Gravity is silent. Phase 8. The luxury identity, killing the bargain hunter within. We have talked about external mechanics. The velvet rope, the silence, the walk away, the absence, the standards. But none of it works if the bargain hunter still lives inside you. Because here is the truth. You are not undervalued because of other people. You are undervalued because, somewhere deep down, you believe you are worth the discount. The world does not set your price. You do, and most people are secretly shopping for clearance racks in their own lives. They look for love that is good enough, jobs that are stable enough, friends that are loyal enough. They negotiate against themselves before anyone else even speaks. That is the bargain hunter mindset. It whispers, "Don't ask for too much. Be grateful for what you get. Lower your standards or you'll end up alone." That voice is not humility. It is fear. Luxury brands do not apologize for their prices. They do not explain themselves. They do not beg to be understood. They do not discount because someone feels uncomfortable. They know what they are. You must develop the same identity. Not arrogance. Not delusion. Conviction. Conviction is silent certainty. When you walk into a room, your energy should say, "I know who I am. I know what I bring. I know what I require." No performance. No over-talking. No validation seeking. Just presence. This is not about pretending to be expensive. It is about becoming so internally solid that discounting yourself feels offensive. The bargain hunter inside you must die. The part that tolerates disrespect because you fear losing connection. The part that over explains because you fear being misunderstood. The part that over gives because you fear being abandoned. Kill that part. Replace it with self-trust. Self-trust is the foundation of luxury identity. When you trust yourself, you do not chase. When you trust yourself, you do not overreact. When you trust yourself, you do not settle. You select, and selection is power. Look at how you move through the world. Do you enter rooms hoping to be accepted, or do you enter rooms deciding whether the room deserves you? That shift changes everything. When you stop trying to fit in, you begin to stand out. When you stop competing for attention, attention competes for you. When you stop negotiating your worth, the world must meet it. But this identity must be backed by substance. Luxury without quality collapses. You cannot claim high value and live low discipline. Your habits must match your standards. Your body must reflect care. Your mind must reflect depth. Your schedule must reflect intention. Because eventually, performance cracks. And if you are hollow inside, the sale price will show. So build the core. Build competence. Build skill. Build emotional control. Build financial independence. Build intellectual sharpness. When your internal value rises, your external price follows naturally. And something strange will happen. People will start adjusting to you. The disrespectful will filter themselves out. The mediocre will feel uncomfortable around you. The high-level individuals will lean closer. Not because you demanded it, because you became it. This is the trying to be chosen. Become the chooser. Stop asking, do they like me? Start asking, do they qualify? Stop asking, will they stay? Start asking, do they deserve access? Access to your time, access to your energy, access to your emotions, access to your mind. Access is privilege, and privilege requires standards. The world is a marketplace, not fair, not kind, not sentimental, a marketplace. And the price is rising. You can remain on sale, or you can close the store. Lock the doors, install the velvet rope, raise the standard, reduce the supply, increase the mystery, control the reaction, be willing to walk. This is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming selective. It is not about becoming distant. It is about becoming intentional. It is not about playing games. It is about understanding the game that has always been played. Because at the end of the day, power is not loud. Power is quiet. Power is controlled. Power is scarce. And scarcity creates value. So ask yourself, are you water flowing everywhere, taken for granted? Or are you a diamond, rare, difficult, and desired? You decide. But understand this. The moment you stop being free, the moment you stop being available to everyone, the moment you stop reacting, overgiving, and negotiating against yourself, your value rises. And when your value rises, so does your freedom. Close the store, raise the price, and let the market adjust.